Hey guys, welcome back to the Pressing Matters. I'm Scott. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for your support. Today we're going to be taking a look at Cat Stevens' 1971 release, Teaser in the FIRECAT, which has just been released by Universal in a 50th anniversary edition. I picked up the vinyl edition recently, and I'm going to be doing a comparison to the MOFI that I have from the 90s. So before we get into that, if you haven't already, please consider subscribing. Hit the like, subscribe, and notification bell. That way you'll be sure to get a notification anytime I upload a new video. So I picked up the 50th anniversary kind of on a lark. I wasn't planning to. And I saw a good deal on it, and I said, this is one of my favorite albums. I'm going to see what they've done with it. So it comes like this, and they've lightened the jacket a little bit in the background for this release, I guess to differentiate it. It's done in a matte finish gatefold, similar to the original, but doesn't have the chunky watercolor texture of the original American originals. And it's done in the gatefold, and they did a wonderful job reproducing the photo. Just a great photo. I love this. I love that photo. And the type sticker, which I removed and put on the polyline sleeve, says Cat Stevens Yusuf Cat-O-Log Collection. I guess that's the name of the reissue collections from Cat Stevens. Teaser in the FIRECAT 50th anniversary reissue. This iconic 1971 album features The Wind, Morning Has Broken, Moonshadow, and Peace Train. So there was a lot of hits on this. This was his most successful album and made him a superstar. The label reproduction they've done a beautiful job with. This is the Island Sunray, I think they call this version, with a pink rim. I think that was only available in the UK like that. There's no mastering engineer listed. It is a digital half-speed remaster. So I was eager to get this. I put it on, and I was immediately struck by the super quiet pressing and low noise floor. This is a wonderful pressing. I don't know who did it, but it is really, really quiet. It was flat, it was centered, beautiful, no takes nor pops, no groove noise, nothing. It was so quiet, and the mastering so clear, everything stood out in stark relief. I heard details that I didn't think I had heard before, at least not in that crystal clarity. I could hear into the studio on many of the cuts. I believe some of the cuts were recorded in one location, others in another. And you can tell the difference on that. There's super clarity on the vocals in like Morning Has Broken, which just is gorgeous. What a great song. Beautifully rendered by Cat Stevens. He didn't write that, by the way. It was actually a hymn that had been around since the early part of the century, but he made it his own and brought it to the masses, and everyone who hears it can't help but be moved by it. Just beautiful. Of course, there's Peace Train, which is a wonderful anthem as well. Actually, one of my favorite cuts on here is Ruby Love. The way they've arranged that song is just gorgeous, and it sounds gorgeous on the 50th. Everything sounds gorgeous on the 50th. However, there is the one thing that struck me as a little bit odd. Not odd, but I had my ear open for it and I kind of couldn't unhear it, is a little bit of a iciness in the vocals. The vocal wasn't as deep and resonant as I would have preferred. And everything else, almost hyper detailed as far as like the picks on the strings, the guitar strings. Oh, the background vocals, which appears throughout the album and very effectively. On the 50th, they were very layered in space. The detail in the vocals in the background vocals were very clear. You could almost pick out individual voices. The soundstage was wide and deep, and you could hear everything in space. Very, very clear. Almost too clear in a way. Now, it's such a great recorded album that doesn't matter. There's no, problems that were revealed because of the clarity. But the one thing that bothered me a little bit was that little bit of iciness on the top of the strings and the vocals. And I don't know if it's the digital remastering, which I think it probably is, or the mastering moves, or that's what the original tape sounds like. I'm not sure, but something I noticed, and I couldn't wait to put on the MOFI to see what the difference was. Now, the MOFI was released during the Anadisc era, and done similarly. The photo reproduction is not quite as lush as on the new one, but the jacket is much nicer, I think, with the gray background. Feels a little more textured. This is a limited edition. This is number 5582. It was done on 200 gram vinyl, half-speed mastered as well. Very well regarded when it came out. It actually was one of the few MOFIs to make the absolute sound super discless. And I've loved this album since I bought it. I hadn't heard it for a while, and I put it on right after the listening to the 50th. And then I immediately knew what the difference was. So where the 50th has a little bit of that sheen on the vocals and ultra clarity on the strings, the 50th, the MOFI has all that, but all the clarity, but it doesn't have that sheen on the vocals. The vocals are more rounded and fleshed out, and that was very important to me. The whole presentation is more organic and analog-like. I preferred it by quite a margin, actually. Even though the 50th was very impressive on its own, the MOFI really killed it. And, if you didn't have a comparison, you'd probably be delighted with the 50th. I was enamored with it. But, you're talking about Cat Stevens' top album, and the music just transports you, very engaging from start to finish. And, it's easy to be misled into thinking that the sound is top notch. And this is the one that's top notch. The only problem is this one is $200 maybe for a really good copy. And the new one is under $20 or $24. So if you don't want to spring for the MOFI, understandable, it's expensive. But if you already have the MOFI, in my opinion, you don't need the new one. This is a much more lush, organic presentation, very analog-like, beautiful. The details that I was talking about, like the string picks and the background vocals, it's all the same clarity, the same detail, but it's done in a more rounded fashion. There's more warmth throughout the whole range. The bass is also more apparent on the MOFI and done really beautifully. It really pins down the arrangements, and just makes it a lush, lovely listen. I was very impressed. So I would like to know what you think if you've gotten the 50th anniversary, especially if you have this to compare. But overall, I preferred the MOFI by quite a margin, I have to say. And the 50th is good. I just wish they hadn't done it digitally. Maybe things would have turned out a little bit different. But that's my take on it. If you would like to make a comment, I'd love to hear what you think about it. Until next time, this is Scott for the Pressing Matters. Have a great day.